For my second video, I would like to talk about painting, and it will depend on your feedback, but if you like the idea, I would like to make a series of videos about painters and their work, which are extremely interesting topics, I think. There are plenty of things to discover about the construction of paintings, the attention to detail, the pigments, the material, the techniques that were used to elaborate them. So I'll let you tell me if you find the idea interesting. Today I would like to start with a Dutch painter called Vermeer, and in particular one of his most famous work, which is called the Lacemaker. I chose Vermeer because I think that if one painter was close to the idea of ASMR, or the concept of ASMR, it could well be Vermeer. The reason is that most of his works are showing us intimate scenes with characters that are often absorbed on a very meticulous task, and the task they are performing is sometimes the subject of the work itself. The compositions are very simple in appearance, but with a huge attention to detail, and in particular a huge attention to light. Objects and people are glowing, almost scintillating in a very soft and subtle way, sometimes almost in an insidious way. And this is what brings so much supernatural quality almost to Vermeer's work. But we'll go through that in a moment. Finally, one last thing that connects Vermeer with ASMR is also how he plays with us, the viewers, the spectators, and makes us enter, or allows us to have a glance at intimate scenes with characters that are apparently unaware of our presence, even though everything in the way the paintings are constructed tells us that the painter was perfectly aware that everything was in the viewer's eye. And this creates a very special kind of relation between the viewer and the characters or the work that are represented. Before we speak a little bit more about the Lacemaker, I would like to give you a few biographical elements. First, an important thing is that Vermeer was moderately successful during his lifetime. He didn't sell his paintings to rich aristocrats, but he was working for merchants in particular, and he specialized in painting interior scenes, essentially showing characters from the middle or the middle upper class, which was quite common in Dutch painting of this time, but which was also regarded as a minor genre. And because he also painted very slowly, he produced, we don't know exactly how many paintings he produced, but today less than 40 are attributed to him. With this limited production, because he painted very slowly, because also his painting was costly in terms of materials, the pigments in particular were extremely expensive. He was using a lot of ultramarine to paint the blue color in his works, and this pigment was made of ground lapis lazuli, the precious stone that came from the Middle East and Asia, essentially, at a very high cost. Given also that he lacked much recognition outside the town of Delft, where he lived, he ended his life in relative poverty and left mainly debts to his family and his wife. Let's talk about the painting now, the Lacemaker. First, this is a small painting. The dimensions are 24 centimeters on one side and 21 on the other side, which is particularly small, even though for the time when many paintings were of limited dimensions. But despite the small dimension, the depth of field is rather uncommon and quite fascinating if we pay attention to it. At the foreground, we have these blue cushions with silk heels, the red ones in particular, which almost seem to be liquid. The foreground is blurred, unprecise, and this gives almost a photographic quality to the image. The various levels, the various grounds of the picture have a different level of definition, which suggests an important depth of field, and immediately draws our attention to what the character is doing. This focus effect that we have on the picture probably comes from the use of a special device called the Camera Obscura. The Camera Obscura is an optical device looking like a box with a hole inside that lets an image enter the box, and through mirrors that were oriented inside the box, the image was projected on a screen of paper that the painter could see and reproduce. The advantage of the process was that the perspective, the depth of field, was not lost in the process. And this photographic quality attached to various paintings by Vermeer could come from this Camera Obscura installation. The important thing too is that the central theme of the painting might not really be the young girl, but rather the work she is doing. And if you look at it, you see that our attention is directed towards what is happening between her hands. First with the orientation of the hands, the lack of detail on her face too, the direction of her look. Everything tells us that the subject here is not really a young woman, but it is what she is doing, or the state in which her work is putting her. She is totally absorbed by what she is doing and passes at the background of her work. And if we continue to look at the painting, we can also observe that there is almost a supernatural quality to it. Look at the face of the girl. One of the eyes, her right eyes that we see on the left of the painting, is too low in comparison with what it should be. Her eyes and her nose have like a T shape, and this gives almost an abstract quality to the representation of her face. The light too is playing a very important role and adds to the supernatural dimension of the painting. Look at how the colors are melting through the influence of the light that is coming from the top right of the painting. But strangely, you seem to have a second source of light on the bottom left, which is helping to balance the picture. But the normal orientation of light is not respected in the painting. Now look at the details of the dress or any element that is represented. No surface is made of one single color. it is all a game of countless shades of colors, playing with the light. And I think when you look at the construction of this painting, the way Vermeer draws our attention to the subject, the way he makes us very gently observe or enter the intimacy of this young girl, I think here lies his genius. His genius of not showing us reality as it is, but as it should be. Peaceful, balanced, simple, but yet magnificent. If you get a chance to travel, there are various cities where you can admire Vermeer's work. Obviously, a large part of his paintings are still in the Netherlands today, in The Hague, in Amsterdam, at the Rijksmuseum. You can also see some of his paintings in London at the National Gallery, in Paris at the Louvre Museum, and in the US, in Washington and New York City. If you live close to New York City, or if you travel there, one place you must visit if you're interested in old masters of painting is the Frick collection. They have 2 or maybe 3, I think 3, Vermeers with many Dutch and Spanish masters too, and you will get a chance to admire some of his works in an extremely welcoming and pleasant environment. And finally, I would also like to recommend you a fabulous movie that was made a few years ago called The Girl with the Pearl Earring. This is a movie with Scarlett Johansson and Colin Firth, I think, adapted from a novel, and Girl with a Pearl Earring is also the title of one of Vermeer's works. This movie is very well made, and in particular the photography. They have been able to recreate some of the scenes that appear in Vermeer's paintings, and the photographic work on the lights in particular justifies alone spending a bit of your time if you appreciate Vermeer's works. This is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this moment we spent together, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.